Hello, everyone. Hi, Catherine. I'm fine, thank you. How are you? I'll wait for a few minutes for a few more people to join and stuff. I have got a lot of questions written down. I was just watching the news earlier. So quite a few things to look at there. Also, I got an email from somebody in Victoria, and they're concerned about a few conspiracies that are going on. Yeah, Clive Palmer. Yeah. Oh, it's interesting things. Hi. So this email's got quite a few things to look at, like Clive Palmer, who's a billionaire here in Australia. Has he got any links? To Steve Bannon. I want to look at that. Interesting. And also she wants to Miles Guo, a guy called Miles Guo. You Google Himalaya Australia, they have a few pages, but there is a whistleblower page. Miles Guo. Okay, so the founder of Himalaya Australia, Miles Guo. Got a few questions. Can you also ask if Russell Brand is getting paid by Clive Palmer to spread conspiracies? Interesting question. I've never been a huge fan of Russell Brand, so how did Clive Palmer get out? Yeah, she's got a few questions, so I probably won't cover them all today, but I will cover them over the next few weeks. Hi, Melinda Ducha. Hi, Carter Mancy. Hi, Viviane. So the lady who sent me the email, Madge, I'll just leave it as Madge. I won't do a whole name. She'll know who she is. So I some very interesting questions, and I will look at them over the next week or so, over the next few broadcasts. So I won't do them all at once, but I will look at them. So if you're watching, Madge, who sent me the email, yeah. Oh, thank you. Yes, it was a lot of fun. She is just the loveliest person. I was totally blown away by what she said about the Titanic, and I looked at a few things and found some possibilities. So it's very interesting to look at that. Here's a possible question: What will the worldwide effects of 2022 of the Australian elections? So you want to know how the Australian elections will affect the globe? 2022 Oz elections, or will it how have things that have been happening affect the elections? If you could just clarify that. What will the worldwide effects of the 2022 Australian elections be?
Chris, your number 10.
Yeah, thanks, baby. Maybe just that last jar I bought was a mild roast. This one's the full-on stuff. So.
I got you. Yeah, they are. You want this one?
No. But if you could just put a wee bit more cream in that would be nice. It's just,
which one is the one you want? This is the That's the one you don't want.
No. I want that one. It's just we've been putting the same amount of coffee as before, and we've been putting extra coffee in before because that was a mild roast.
Almond cream in this one.
Just a wee bit more. Hi, Joan Maury. How are you? We're both well, thank you. Yeah. So I was 22 elections. So I'm still trying to clarify, Catherine, your question. So do you want to know how global events will affect our election, or how our election will affect global events? Hi, Renee. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Will affect the country as a whole. Thank you for clarifying the question. Thank you. So how will the process and the results of the 2022 elections affect the country as a whole? Yeah. Will affect Oz. Yep. Thank you for clarifying that, Catherine. I do appreciate it. Hi, Bonnie Russell. Everyone's saying hello to you too.
Hey guys.
They can hear your sexy voice. Oh no, don't worry about that, Catherine. It's just yeah, sometimes it can be really hard to write a question can be a really hard thing to do. It's there's a whole section in academic courses about writing a question and breaking down a question. So people think, oh, it's all easy to just write a question. No, it can be really hard. So yeah. Yeah, it can be a very, very trying to get down what you want to convey into a few words. Yeah. So you don't ever have to apologise. There's only clarity. I will ask for it and give you time to do it. So yes, Devin Nunes, I've got that written down. He's going to run Trump's new media company. Who gave Donald Trump the $1 million? That is a big question, and it's causing some concern. Is it going to be is it a national security concern? So that's someone gave him $1 billion for the company. That's one of the things I've got written to look down. Also, the DOJ is suing the state of Texas over their latest maps. Sorry for the noise, but it's going to get very hot here, 38 degrees here today in Perth. So it's got quite a strong breeze, which can sometimes be the way. So while it's still relatively cool, we've got all the doors open. So it might be a wee bit noisier than normal.
I'll leave you to it, baby.
Other questions. The voting rights legislation. I'm going to have a catch up with that. And will they fix the filibuster? I've often asked about the filibuster. Oh yeah, formulating a research question. So if you remember that brouhaha, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Sometimes it's not as easy as you'd think to just write a simple question, So yeah. So the filibuster, is that going to be reformed? Can they just get rid of it? Also, there's a memo come out from the Washington higher-ups in the Washington, D.C. National Guard saying that two generals or two very high people in the Department of Defense or the Pentagon lied to Congress, and that the Inspector General's report is just filled with lies. Oh my goodness, sorry. So I'll be looking at that. The border crisis. Now, apparently, the Biden administration has been given a court order to say that they have to reinstate, at least for now, the Remain in Mexico policy, and they've expanded on it. So was it just the court order? What's going to happen with that? What are they going to do? Are they going to come and do what they said they were going to do, which is get rid of it and provide a better solution? People are pretty disappointed. Is it more than just a court order? And if it is, what are they going to do? Because the courts ordered them to keep it in place. I had Linda, if you watch this at some time, thank you very much for coming on, for doing that video with me. I really enjoyed it. It was absolutely so much fun. I was watching it and I realized, geez, I was really nervous, but I shouldn't have been. She's lovely. She's absolutely lovely. But I was listening to myself and I'm all nervous through it. You might see my left hand shake at times, and that's just, I have essential tremors, but my hand was shaking more than normal. So you're learning to like purples and lavenders. You've never enjoyed them before. I love purples, and yeah, I love the purple ranges. This is my favorite color. Super favorite is plum purple, but I love all colors of purple, except there's maybe one mauvey purple I'm not too keen on, but otherwise, yeah. Thank you about the scarf too. Thank you for that. So hi 171 sign in. How are you? Yeah, and remember, thumbs up, guys. I looked nervous. I didn't realize how nervous I was. I was like, oh, is she? But she was absolutely lovely, and yeah, just a joy, a real privilege to be able to do something with her. Yeah. While I'm talking and letting you know some of the things I'll be reading on, I'm just going through some decks, because you know how I accidentally end up putting reversals in decks sometimes, because I'm not, when I'm putting cards in, I'm not always checking which way the deck is. So I'm just going through and getting rid of some accidental. There are some decks I have that have purples that do have reversals in them, and that's, yeah, but yeah. Any other questions that people might have? Like I said, I'm looking at Nunes. Of course, I have my little book, but of course I didn't have it with me, so I've written things here, and then I've got the email I just printed up just before. 16 degrees centigrade. Yeah. Yeah, we're 38 here, so we're twice that. So if 16 degrees is 61 degrees, I don't know how it works. So we're 38 degrees centigrade here. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit. Hi, Pamela Bryan. And thank you, everyone, for the absolutely lovely comments about my video with Linda. Really lovely. I was so surprised because I put it up there, and like 4 hours later, there's like it hit 1,000 views like 4 hours later, and I'm like, oh my god, you know? Wow. And so yeah, she's loveliest lady, absolutely the loveliest lady, and it was a joy and a privilege to be able to do something with her, which I hope to join her at a later date, and we'll see what happens. Yeah. a lot of people are intrigued about the Titanic thing. Might do a special on that. Maybe even investigate doing a past life reading, but I haven't done them before. So that's something I'd want to have a look in. Too careful. There are spreads you can do. So that would be really interesting. Okay, we're getting up to 15 minutes. So I think we'll make a start. Big one. Who paid Trump $1 billion? So there's a few questions in with that. Was it overseas? Apparently for his new media company. Well, I've always been fascinated with the Titanic. 104.4 Fahrenheit. Oh my goodness. That's hot. Hi, Ewart. She is. She's lovely. It is. It is. So later on in the day, it'll be doors closed, aircon on for a while. Put it on for a couple of hours to cool the room down, leave it, turn it off, leave it, and then just, yeah. Oops. That was my bad shuffling, so. Hi, Edna May. So, okay. Firstly, it's being investigated. Will the investigators find out where the money came from? Hi, Apple. Oh, that's below 5 degrees Fahrenheit. That's below freezing here. You're in St. Paul, Minnesota. Yeah. $4,000 people have watched that video. Oh my goodness, that is like the most who's ever watched a video. I know I've had at least one that go over 2,000, but oh my goodness. Yeah. So here is a full. They don't really need to overanalyze things too much to find out. I think he's been pretty sloppy. So one of the things with the Fool is you don't need to overanalyze things. It's pretty out there. He's been pretty sloppy. Let's see. The Hanged Man. Suspension, pause. Has he publicly listed this company? There's definitely something there that could bring things to a screeching halt. Out in the cold. 5 of Pentacles. Frozen. What is going on there? So he's got the Hangman, which can be a pause or suspension. Now he's got 5 of Pentacles out in the cold. And there's the, I'm just getting frozen here. Two of Cups. They must have some real concern. SEC investigation, yeah. The Securities and Exchanges Commission. They have, there's some real concern here. There's talk that it's Saudi Arabia, and I'll have a look at who it may or may not be, but I'm just looking at the investigation at the moment. Knight of Cups, that's Trump. The Moon. There's a lot of lies and deceptions about what this money is for. 6 of Pentacles, quid pro quo. They have concerns that it is to buy future favours if he gets back into political office. And I do think that this might be, yeah, chicanery, all right. Yeah. Two of Wands. A bigger picture. More of a global. I do feel like it is, there is overseas money here. Yeah, Russell Brand. Just never really been a huge fan of his. I don't know anything to, you know. Hi, Shelby. How are you, my dear? Yeah, there's definitely hidden things here, hidden pathways, or it's definitely been an effort to cloud where it's came from, but it's not a very good one. He really thinks that it doesn't matter if they find out they can't do anything to me, you know. So we'll put the cards in the right way up. Hi, Teresa Levine. How are you? Thomas Massey Christmas card with him with big guns. Yeah. Russell Brand used to be Russia. I don't know. I've seen some things from the early days, like the early 90s and stuff. Not the early 90s, the early 2000s, and when he was, you know, really hitting the straps in England and stuff like that. Yeah, rational, never something I'm associated with Russell Brand. Yeah. He was married to Katy Perry, wasn't he? Was it Katy Perry? Yeah. So, is Saudi Arabia behind some of the money? Guys with heart's truth and compassion. 8 of Wands, lots of communications between the two. So this is a yes, and lots of communications. 2 of Pentacles, in order to manifest and manipulate opinion through his media network. Oh, the big tower. Tower happening. Could this money be that they've invested be a payday for Trump allegedly helping to cover up Khashoggi's murder? Oh, 6 of Pentacles. That's a yes. That's a quid pro quo. And I'm saying allegedly. 5 of Swords, defeat. The Moon, lies and deceptions. That's on top of the tower. Oh my goodness. Will this be uncovered? A reversal. I thought I'd got rid of them all. Yeah, the Emperor is a maybe card anyway, but it's like totally thrown off the throne. Like his throne's just being, when someone pulls a seat out, a very nasty, mean trick, very dangerous trick of you go to sit down and somebody pulls your seat away. A bit like that. I'm getting like, the world coming towards a resolution. So he's got failing to juggle things, defeat in the world with money, end of one cycle, start of another. Knight of Pentacles, again, slowing things down, almost to a complete pause. Are the SEC going to freeze these assets? Freeze this money? Wheel of Fortune. There's change coming. And his relationship with Saudi Arabia, they've been investigating it for a long time. Will the SEC freeze his assets? 7 of Cups. There's some cloudiness there. 4 of Swords. And the Sun. There's 2 maybes, but a big yes. I've done it again, have I? No, yeah, no. I said, I've never really taken much notice of him because he's all too much for me, and it all seems like he's put together. He's always gone for this gothic prince, this Russell Brand I'm talking about, this like dark gothic prince look, and yeah. Yeah, it just never really had, you know. So some of the money I think came from Saudi Arabia. What about, did some of it come from Russian oligarchs via Putin? From Putin via oligarchs. Let's have a look here. Intuition. It's a good guess. Or a good bet. Sorry. Ace of Swords. Yeah, that is a definite big yes. Two of Pentacles. No, Page of Pentacles. Disruption. Okay, this is for his. This is, yeah, it's like it's payment for past actions, and it's stuff that's being hidden, like his disruption of, you know, withdrawing from treaties and NATO and this, that, and the other, and the Hermit, keeping things, isolating America from other people. Here's that World card again. New World Order sort of crept in, which is always a really nasty 3-word phrase, which never has never had, never will have good connotations. New World Order. Four of Pentacles, keeping secrets, keeping things close. Seven of Pentacles, getting away with stuff. Yeah, helping. Like he cut down on sanctions. He let Russia get away with a few things. Again, it's payment, but there will be justice with this. And upsetting the balance of justice, but yeah. Make no mistake. Threat to national security. Is he a threat to national security? Out in the cold. There it is again. Out in the cold. The Empress, that's Russia. Six of Pentacles, yeah. So, again, it's quid pro quo. It's payback for his actions as president. It's payday, we'll put it. Hi, Judith Gash. We're both doing fine. Thank you very much. Thank you for asking. Yeah. Hi, Judy Malley. Putting up the Christmas tree. We used to have one, but it never won the war with the cat. But it was a big one. It was like a 6-foot tree, and it would take me like an hour and a half just to put it up and put lights over it. And then when my friends lived a lot closer with their kids and all that, before they all moved away, I used to put on a morning tea and they'd come over with their kids and I'd put the lights on. I'd already have the lights on so they didn't have to. But then it was like, kids, have at the ornaments. And I kept a few aside, like Precious one, and they would just decorate the tree with tinsel ornaments or whatever. And it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun for them. It was less trouble for me, but it took me like 3 hours to dismantle it after everything. And we got the chance to sit together and have a cup of tea and stuff like that. Now I have several small trees, like this big, and of all different types, and place them around the place. Tree, yeah. Hi, Audrey Campbell. Lovely to see you. Hi, Judith Gatch. Crazy Cat Lady, where are you? Hi, how are you? So we spent enough time with this. Devin Nunes resigning in January to be CEO of the new company. I've said several times, every time I've read on him, that he's not going to stay. He's not going to go for his seat. He's been looking around for an opportunity for something else, and it looks like he got it. Hi, Sheila. How are you, my dear? Your cat thought the Christmas tree was a dangerous alien. She never went within 3 feet of it. And a look of disgust as she was, oh, I wish my cat would have thought of it as a dangerous alien. Instead, she viewed it as a climbing challenge, as most cats do. Yeah, so he's resigning in January. So what is his future? To be CEO of Trump's new media company. Queen of Wands. Very dodgy, dodge. He'll be flying by the seat of his pants a bit, I think. Queen of Wands is very much about instinct, acting on instinct. Hi, Linda B. I saw your email. That's really good news. He's not going to be as secure as he would have liked to be. He's going to end up feeling a little bit insecure, having things close to his chest. Hi, Sharon Lee. 6 of Pentacles. It is sort of like a payday for him sticking with Trump. He sort of mulched up to him for years and years and years and wormed his way in. So he didn't want to go, he didn't want to leave Congress until he had another payday. Not yet, Audrey, but I am looking at, well, I have found 3 sets of sisters in 3rd class that are very interesting. And let's nail down a date for a collaboration. How about this Thursday morning? Sharon Lee, I can send you the link just before I start, and you can join me whenever you like. That would be great. TS material. What's TS material? He will use anything he has. Oh, yes, that's a big yes, whatever the TS material is. Oh, yes, yeah, top secret. Oh, yeah, definitely. He's made a deal with Trump. But you know what? He is in a bit of a time of anxiety. This is not going to be the dream job he wanted. It's going to actually turn into a bit of a nightmare for him. You're 16 hours behind me. So I start at 9 a.m., which is 5 p.m. your time, Sharon, the night before. So 5 p.m. Wednesday for you. So I'll send it to you just before, and you know, whenever you can. If you're not available at 5 p.m, if you're still on your way home, that's fine. It'll just be sitting there waiting for you. It's not going to be the dream job he wanted. I read the other day if somebody was giving Trump security material that he should not be getting. And I said, yes. Entertainment purposes only. Is Devin Nunes one of the people who's been supplying him with information he wouldn't otherwise be able to get? That's the high priestess, yes. Yes, maybe, yeah. Very, very stupid, foolish move. That I've been saying for quite a long while. He was going to look for he wasn't going to leave till he had a what he viewed as a better offer. Hi, Grandma D. Hi, Renee Rogers. Are my glasses new? No, they've been oh, you don't want to be shot by a musket. Might not kill you. You might survive the wound. But if you can't get the musket ball out, there's a lot of records of people injured by muskets dying, in some cases years later, from the foreign body still in their system because they couldn't get the musket ball out or whatever, and eventually toxins being released into their bloodstream. And yeah, and it could take years to happen. Hi, Deborah Costro. Thank you very much, Judy Malley. I loved it. It was great. I was so surprised when I was watching it and how nervous I sounded. Look, resigning is not going to stop him. If he's done wrong, if he's used his seat, if he's used his time in Congress to help aid somebody with the shadow cabinet, etc., will he be held accountable and punished? Two of Wands, yeah, they're looking at him big time. It's like they're really suspicious about the timing too. This is really suspicious timing. What's he trying to manifest? He's like trying to divert attention. Oh, yes, he's in for some heartbreak. Knight of Cups, that's him helping the Trump. Six of Wands, providing information. Eight of Cups, forced to walk away, abandonment. Honestly, I think he's getting out of Dodge because I think it's going to become pretty clear that something is going to come out that if he hadn't already resigned, he was going to have to. Oh, yeah, he will lose his security clearance. The Emperor, Ace of Cups, or seeing eye. There is definitely things happening, movement away. It's something he has to do. It's something he has to do. 3 2s. Where's my handy little purple book? What are 3 2s? Many changes. Well, of course, with 3 2s, it was many changes for him, with him, you know, resigning from Congress and all that. But I think maybe he's hoping he can avoid a few things. But there's definitely betrayal here with the 3 of Swords. He's riding high at the moment, but I think he's due for a fall. He thinks he's going to be being CEO of this media company is going to help him be able to control narrative, which he really can't at the moment. And it's is he going to end up in legal trouble? Oh, what's on the bottom? 8 of Pentacles. Details. Sloppy, shoddy work. 7 of Wands. He is going to have to stand up and defend himself in some way. So if he thinks he's getting out of Dodge and he's going to get away scot-free, he's not. Now, will they hold a by-election for his seat? Will there be a by-election for Nunes' seat? And if there is, well, I know he's in a very red seat and he won it back, but will it, if there's a by-election, crossroads time in his seat, I know we have by-elections if someone resigns. Hi, Tara S. Oh, yes, by-election. Cards are just flying out of this. So totally agree with you. I think some drivers should have to take psychological tests. You sure win. Hi, Fern Robin Blank. Thank you. So it's redistricting. That's why he's doing it too. So if there's a by-election, will it go to a Democrat? Will his seat go to a Democrat? Well, not necessarily to start, but hopefully. There's hope that it will, but no. Might, even though it's been redistricted, it's a bit cloudy. It might, but also it's, I said, will it go to a Democrat? And I've got defeat here. Will it go to an independent? Oh, yes, it could possibly go to an independent if there's a by-election in his so next time there's an election there, he might, yeah. Okay, we're going to go to Madge's email that I got from her. She's got quite a few questions, and I'll be covering them over the next few weeks because there's some really interesting questions here. She's done some investigating, and Steve Bannon came to Australia as well as most other countries in the world. I think he teaches, in our case, Clive Palmer, how to install a right-wing party. So, did Steve Bannon have any does Steve Bannon have links to Clive Palmer, or Clive Palmer have links to Steve Bannon? Hi, Sophie from Bright Arrow. That's a yes. That is the Four of Wands. Yeah, and they've been kept under wraps. He's been careful. Clive Palmer has been really careful to keep any links under wraps. But yes, opportunity. Palmer paid him for his services, I think. Consulting or something, but he's been really careful to keep it under wraps. Did Steve Bannon help with the setup of the United Australia Party? Yes, I've got the Emperor, we've got the Sun, Eight of Swords. Queen of Cups. Now, you have to be really careful when setting up a party in Australia, because there are a lot of laws, and if you get something wrong, they will shut it down. Hi, Anne Rudd. Is the United Australia Party? Of course, first he had Palmer United Party. Now it's Australia United Party. So it went from PUP. Everyone was calling it PUP, and I don't think he liked that. But will that party fall? Will it fail? Oh, deals and quid pro quos. Bound. Yeah, there's the deals again. And the Magician. I asked if it will fail. Yeah, I think it will, because there's going to be stuff coming out about it. But it might take a while. Hi, Dan Orshaw. I've actually been on 5 cruises. I was telling my sister about it yesterday. She said, "Oh, well, that's really interesting." She goes, "That's it." She said, "But it doesn't explain your liking cruises so much." I've been on 5 cruises. So, but yeah, I like the big boats. I'm not too comfortable. I get seasick, so I always take something. But yeah. Yeah. But I generally got really angry with the movie Titanic. I was like, oh, wrong. They just got it wrong, and this fact's wrong, and that's fact wrong. I was really pissed off with it. I've never watched the whole thing from start to finish, because when I'm not big on biopic movies and stuff, some I like Apollo 13, and I know there's dramatic license given in a lot of these movies. Like, I like Apollo 13. the series From the Earth to the Moon was absolutely fantastic. That was a great series. And stuff. But generally, like biopic movies and stuff like that, I prefer to watch a doco. Just, yeah. And there have been some fantastic biopic movies that deserve every laudit they've gotten, and some fantastic performances. It's just I'm not really big on biopic movies, but yeah. Well, they do. So they do have to take some dramatic license, and they admit that with Apollo 13. Apollo 13 was actually really very, very factual, but like the fight and all that, and the tension in the capsule between Swagger and Hazy and all that, they admitted that that really wasn't true. They just needed to add, it was for adding dramatic license and all that. But yeah. So if you want a really, really good series that really is very factual, and their portrayals and everything, watch From the Earth to the Moon. Hi Geek, how are you? All 4 seasons in one day. There's a great song by Crowded House called 4 Seasons in One Day. And yeah, we look at them as Australian, but the Finn brothers, they started with Split Ends in New Zealand, so they are from New Zealand and all that, even though they've been over here. Crowded House was formed over here and all that. Split Ends was in New Zealand. Loved Split Ends. Loved it when they did their individual projects like Tim Finn's album, and loved it when they formed Crowded House. Yeah, just amazing. Australasian, oceanic entertainers. So it's a great song. I will be looking into that. Renee, yeah. Gonna snow. Has anyone seen that Gary Larson cartoon? It's got three old people, 3 old guys sitting out on the porch. And the first one, his hands all swollen. He goes, yeah, wet weather's coming, my hand's swollen. And then the guy next to him, his knees all like twice the normal size. He says, oh, no, it's wild weather or something like that. He says, look, my knee's gone up. And then the guy next to him, he goes, whoops, there goes my head. And his head's like this. It's a Gary Larson cartoon. It's really, yeah. So, yeah, very funny. And James and I joke about it all the time because, one of us got something aching or another. And when we decide, okay, we're just going to shut down this, who's aching more in which body part? And it's usually me, but sometimes he does it too. We'll go, oops, there goes my head. AutoCAD person. Okay, so we've had a look at that. I'll have a look at Miles Go Out another day. But the Russell Brand and Clive Palmer, while we're talking, we'll do the Clive Palmer questions. Is Russell Brand being paid by Clive Palmer to spread conspiracies? I think we'll swap decks. I'm getting no. Russell Brand turned to all sorts of alternative therapies and things several years ago. Justice, Ace of Cups, Pentacles. Could be wrong. So, head. Right, really bad headache right here. Guide to the highest truth and compassion. Double-edged sword. I'm getting, yes, he might be getting a fee from Palmer, but I think he'd do it for free anyway, because he really is a very big believer in alternate therapies and that diseases, a lot of disease don't exist. Like it's all psychosomatic or in your mind or don't really exist. Queen of Pentacles. Yes, there could be some fee involved, but it's some sort of deal. Queen of Cups. But no. I mean, he's definitely peddling these conspiracies. Is he tied to Clive Palmer? Yes or no? Yes. The Hierophant, yes. Yeah, but honestly, he'd probably do it for free if he could. Really bad, like something screwing a nut into my forehead pain there just a little bit ago. Can my cards tell you what yeah, I can have a look at that in a minute. How did Clive Palmer get our mobile numbers? Yes, I want to know that because I've gotten texts from his party and I think I blocked it from Craig Kelly, who's the leader of that party. Look, honestly, there are companies who collect all that information, and if you enter some competitions or stuff, there's terms and conditions, and part of that is that they collect your mobile numbers and stuff like that, and they do sell them off. They do sell off these databases to people. Lots of companies, when you're dealing with them, say, look, you know, we do compile the data and make it available for other people. So yeah, he just used one of those companies that compiles data and stuff. Yeah. Okay, what do the 1-6 committee, where are they at? Hey, sweetheart. Are you okay to do me another coffee, darling? I've rearranged all the dining tables back in the centre here to my right. It used to be against the wall. Moved the coffee station so it's out of the hallway. All sorts of things. Been making some changes. So.
Coffee bag. Did you yell out?
Please. Yes, I did. I just well, I didn't yell. So the 1-6 committee. We're going to start apparently public hearings or something in January. Oh. 1-6 committee. Oh, who else is? Everyone's saying hello again. Oh, thanks, Ewart. Thank you. Oh, yes, he does. Yeah, Zuckerboy, yeah. So, let's see. 1-6 committee, guides at the highest truth and compassion. Thank you. Insight, clarity, and objectivity into what the committee doing. What is it? What's the question that was asked? I can't tell us. Already have. What do they already have? Let's see. Honestly, they've got conviction, aid, so they've got the emperor upright. It's got stability, power, aid, protection, a great person, conviction, reason. And you don't use all of those words, of course. And I'm honing in on aid and conviction. So they have enough to convict somebody for aiding. Is this aiding with the 1-6 thing? Is this to do with members of Congress? Got exhaustion, giving up, overwhelmed. This is like indefensible stuff. They're overwhelmed by what they have. The committee. What's on the bottom here? We've got the sun reversed, the same in a lesser sense. Material happiness, fortunate marriage, contentment. No, it's like, no, really a very dark period. It's, you know, I've got the tarot with keywords here. Facility, felicity, destiny. There's a change coming. A change of circumstances. They've got enough to bring about a change of circumstances for somebody. They're starting to redirect their energy. Okay. And they're getting newly formed pictures and ideas from what they have, and it's letting them be able to redirect their energies to look at some other aspects that they need to look at. And it is a cause for anxiety, and it is a cause for worry. And some people, I do feel some people in Congress are starting to feel a little bit anxious. Bigotry, law in all departments, bias, excess severity. They've got injustice. Yeah, they've really. The bigotry too. And the weakness. Some people have been feeling pretty secure, are going to start feeling, thank you, my darling, quite insecure, and they're going to start feeling like, oh, this isn't fair. And they might even end up feeling like they're being excessively punished, but not really. Because of weakness, it's like they deliberately tried to sabotage the US government. Hillbilly coffee, moonshine instead of Irish whiskey.
Hey, what?
Hillbilly coffee, you know, Irish coffee with a dash of Irish whiskey and often some cream on top.
Sounds good.
Hillbilly moonshine instead of Irish whiskey.
I like it.
Arrogance impotence, haughtiness. It definitely got enough that some people who were hoping that they'd be under the radar, that hope is. No, they've been arrogant and breakups, disharmony, distrust, self-love. Yeah, a lot of people love themselves more than they love their country, and that's come out very, very strongly here. Distrust, it's certainly stirring up some distrust. In fact, I think what some of the stuff they're coming out with is causing some members of Congress, Republican members of Congress, to look very, very with a very different view at some other people here. Now, it's got a lack of long-term vision here with the Seven of Pentacles upside down. Limited success or reward. Okay. I think that they have quite a lot. But if they were act on it now, it would really, as I said, just have a limited success. So they don't. So the reason they may not be acting now is that it does not get into their long-term view. But they've got a lot of stuff on quite a few people. See, surface knowledge. Yeah, some of those shallow people with just surface conceit and surface knowledge. Yeah, they've got enough that it's starting to open some, change the perspective of some of the more moderate and sensible Republicans in the House. But it's a long way away from, they're still quite a ways away from pouncing and acting. And they will pounce and they will act, okay? But they're fully aware that if they do so now, it will limit the success that they have. Okay, so the overall thing is they have got a lot of stuff that's making quite a few people really anxious and nervous and feel that maybe things are going to turn against them. And that, especially in the sabotaging things, and quite enough to knock some of the haughtiness and arrogance out of some people. But it's also stirring up some distrust within the Republican caucus itself. But they're not going to act now because there's more to learn. Surface knowledge, if they act now, it would not benefit the long-term goal. So be patient. They've got a lot of stuff, and I do feel like there's going to be the first couple of months of next year, they'll start moving then. Okay, maybe towards the spring, February, March. I think you'll start seeing real movement. I mean, yes, they've got the public hearings coming up, and they don't. Hi, Scott. And they don't want to expose too much. Hey, sweet.
Baby.
Could you close the doors and turn on the aircon?
Yeah, it's starting to kick in, isn't it?
It is. I'll turn on the aircon. I'm just going to stretch my legs for a couple of minutes because I've been sitting for an hour, and as you know, I need to stretch my legs. So hubby's going to take care of the front and side doors, and I'm going to turn the aircon on because the heat is starting to kick in. 37 degrees centigrade is like 104 Fahrenheit in the US.
Well, that's not going to be slippers and dressing gown.
No, it's not slippers and dressing gown weather, darling. People are saying, it's hot. It is. Yeah, the heat's starting to kick in. So.
Close the place up. Okay. You got the back door? Yeah.
Thank you, darling.
All right, go. There you go.
Oh, Em told me that my thing with Linda G had over 4,000 views.
There you go. Got you covered. How many?
Over 4,000, apparently.
Okay.
Anyway, we've got the aircon on. I've stretched my legs. Hey, it's good if I sit for. It's not good to sit for 3 hours, especially if you're overweight like me and diabetic, and you've got to be aware of your circulation. And two, if I sit for 3 hours and don't get up and stretch my legs, oh my God, it is like, yeah, my knees, it's like, ah! Talk about creaking. Sort of felt like my knees should be making the same noise that our microwave did last week before it went bung, and it was
I don't know, years worth.
flash.
Yeah,
My knee.
that was dramatic.
Yeah, we're both type 2, and yeah.
It went bang.
Yeah,
Basically.
I have been losing weight, and I'm continuing to lose weight. Yeah. Oh, you've got Star Trek ornaments on your tree, Geek Hillbilly. Constitution class, Galaxy class, Intrepid class, Klingon D7, Battle Cruiser, and the Borg Cube, etc. Oh, we have all the Star Trek series, not the original ones. They're very hard to get, but like Next Generation on, and we have Enterprise as well. And in this third series, when you go in, they have like a thing, and they showed a ship, and we knew it was a Klingon ship, okay, and they just put Klingon B-O-P, Klingon Bop, and we're like, Klingon Bop, is that some sort of a dance or something? And it took us like two almost 3 years before it hit out what B-O-P meant, and it was Klingon Bird of Prey. We're like, oh my God, how embarrassed were we? Yeah, we do. What's the Klingon Bop? Can we find out where to dance it and stuff? Oh, and it's like, and I always get my in my head when I think about the Klingon Bop, you know, from the movie Beverly Hills Cop. I think it's the Neutron Dance. I always get that tune. We're fucking doing the Klingon Bop. We're trying to think what sort of dances is. What is a Klingon Bop? And yeah, it's a bird of prey. Yeah. My parents were always made sure that my birthday was very definitely separated separately from Christmas. They never combined the two because I'm a New Year's Eve baby. And yeah. Anyway, now where's my other piece of paper? So okay, the DOJ. Now there's been some changes since they last took on this sort of case again. They're suing Texas over the voting maps. Now there's some hope because the precedent previously set, but there's also been some changes as well. So with the Supreme Court saying no, that they won't hear cases about that. 2019 they made that decision. Geez, I wonder why. Scott, how are you, my dear? inertia, sleep, lethargy, petrification, somnambulism. Oh, it's like, it's going to have a little bit of trouble gaining traction. This case, the DOJ against the Texas voting maps. Playing small, unexpected delays. Well, that goes in with the inertia. Transition, rite of passage, releasing back. But then it starts moving. So this transition starts happening and there's a change to that. Misuse of power, manipulation, concealment, disguise, policy, fear, unreasoned caution. Look at, honestly, it's not looking too good. I don't know that they're going to get very far with it, but they do have to try. They do have to try. By doing this and bringing these cases, they're showing that no, these are not considered valid, these map changes, and they're putting out the message that we do not consider these map changes valid in the eyes of the law. And that something needs to be done. So it's very much also about putting out a message to people saying that these things are not right. I know a lot of people who have been, or I've heard of lots of people who were born on 25th, 26th, 24th, and some of them get everything combined. But more often than not, it's been, they've always made a point, yes, it's Christmas or it's Christmas Eve, but it's also your birthday. So there would be a birthday cake and a present that was theirs, distinct for their birthday. So yes, it happened at Christmas and all that, but even if everyone else, all the other relatives bought them a combined present, their parents or their family would always make that distinction, like having that birthday cake. And this is for, so like they might, Christmas morning breakfast might be about celebrating that person's birthday, or you know what I mean? And I think if I had a kid and they were born like on Christmas, I would be doing that. I would be like, okay, Christmas starts at 12 o'clock. Until 12 o'clock, it's about this person's birthday, that sort of thing. And I have heard of people who do that. I've even heard in the odd case where people are like, well, okay, it's their birthday comes first. We'll do Christmas Eve or Boxing Day. Hi, Desrat. How are you? You ask them what they would like for their birthday. Rainy in Miami, hey? Hello to everyone who's watching as well, who's not in the chat. Thank you for joining and watching. And hello to everyone who chooses to later on to click on my videos and watch them. I hope you enjoy them. I hope you watch more if you're new to the channel. Especially some of the earlier ones I did. Yeah. Yes, it is. It's already getting investigated, Geek Hillbilly. I actually did a reading on that, on where'd the money come from, the $1 billion. Voting rights legislation. What is going to go on with, what is happening with that? Let's have a look. As you can see, I've been sorting out my decks and stuff. And I really like the baskets. So rather than take them back into the bathroom and fill it all with crap that really needs to be thrown out, I've just kept them out here, and I'm using them to like shelves and stuff. They were in my bathroom and they were just full of crap that really needs to be thrown out. I still need to throw it out. It's still all over the ensuite. The ensuite's my bathroom and James uses the middle one. But yeah, still a lot of stuff needs to be thrown out. Let's look at decorated for Christmas. Yeah. Yeah, no, my parents were always very separate with it. In fact, every year they threw a birthday party for me. New Year's Eve, I got a birthday party every year until I was 21. And they threw me the 21st birthday. And then I said to them, you don't have to throw me a birthday party anymore. They would insist on it. And like, if you want to throw a party for the new year, that's great. But you don't have to throw it just because it's my birthday. You know, the 21st birthday, as far as I was concerned, yeah, no, you know, not that I didn't love it, but I knew it was a lot of trouble all the time. And yeah, even though for my 21st I did a lot of the work and paid for a lot, it was still a lot of work. And it's like, no, they don't have to keep doing that just for my birthday. So you found a deck that your mother, an awesome deck, but you don't know what it's called. Shelby Lisa, if you can, take a photo and email it to me. Email me the back and a couple of the cards, and we'll have a look, and I'll see if I can track down what the deck's called for you. Okay? And if you can tell me what 2 cards are missing, we'll see what we can do. Who found Osteen's money? Who's Osteen's money? I don't know what that's all about. Okay, voting rights legislation. What's going to happen with that? Good things coming for it. People are going to be very happy. There's still a bit of a struggle to go, but it is heading towards success. So we've got the ace, which will be success in the end. Oh, Joel Osteen's money. Okay, yeah, okay. Still a bit of a struggle, but it is heading towards success. Okay. It's like this guy's pushing, getting his final push home. So it's going to start working on the final push, but it's going to take a while. They have everything they need for success, and they will be able to manifest that. Yeah, I know who that is now. In a bathroom. Okay. But at the moment, it's still slow going. It still goes slow going at the moment. But this is, as you often know, people have been watching me, the Empress for me is often the will of the people. And a change, a new direction, taking US into a new direction. Congress, instinct. There's still a couple of roadblocks ahead, but we are, but they are, and it's still going to be a little bit of, but eventually, but yeah, and it is going to be an anxious time. In the interim, people are going to be feeling anxious. But will it be passed before June next year? I'm getting a yes or a maybe, and the sun, yes. But it's still quite a bit of work to do, and people might still be feeling quite a bit of anxiety in the interim with all the 149 different bills or laws that people in Republican states want to pass and stuff like that. Yeah. But I think by summer next year, June next year, it's going to go through. I've never gotten a no with that, but it's not going to be easy. There's still a few more, I think it's still got a few more rounds to go. But they will get there. Terrarium sold in cereal boxes. I can remember when the big 2-litre soft drink bottles came out and stuff, cutting the top off, and people in school, how to make a terrarium and things like that. Hi, Mr. Berry. Oh, thank you very much. Now, the plumber, he's been denied the reward so far. Who was the reward? That's what you did with that 600,000. Oh, bit of pain. My doctor said the other day, went to the doctor yesterday, get blood pressure, and she said your muscles are so knotted up, you need a proper massage. And I'm like, yeah, right. I love getting a massage, but so it's like, when you get that burning pain and it's like, yeah. So yeah, I've always gotten by June next year, by the summer, and I've never gotten a no on that, but it is still going to be a struggle. It is still have to go a few more rounds yet. Mummy, I'm vibrating. From all the sugar, yeah. The statute of limitations passed, but the insurance claim was paid out. That cash may have to go to the insurance company. Yes, it will. So what? He hit it in the wall and then claimed it on insurance. Will that plumber get some reward? The insurance company might pay him some. Will that plumber get some reward for finding that money? Because insurance companies do pay finder's fees. So, hi, Michelle Mabel. How are you, my dear? It could be. This is an institutional card. So he may get a fee from the insurance company for finding it. Yeah, but it might take a while. So I do think he's going to be victorious. He is going to get some money, some reward, but it's going to take a while. It's probably going to be via the insurance company. Will they fix the filibuster? Will they just... I don't know why they can't just get rid of it. Hi, Sandra Henderson. I'm so old you don't remember much. Oh. Will they fix it? Will the filibuster be eliminated? Catherine Stubbs, I've just spotted your question again about the Australian election, so I'll look at that next. Honeycomb hideout. I'm fine, thank you, Michelle. Crossroads. There's still money interest involved in keeping it. And that's causing a lot of the nightmares with the filibuster. Why some people do not want to get rid of it. It's very much tied to moneyed interest wanting to keep it. Suspension. Talking about actions. Honestly, I wish I could say that straight out that, yeah, they were going to sort it out, but it's sort of like then they may pause its use for a while, suspend its use for a while, but it feels like just repeated opportunity. I mean, one party might get rid of it and then another would bring it back in, that sort of thing. Yeah, it's honestly, moneyed interest is the biggest thing that is keeping the filibuster there. It's not about fairness. It's not about proper representation. It's not. It's about moneyed interest wanting it to stay. Will they restrict its use to non-essential legislation? Defense, they're going to set new boundaries about its use. That's what I'm getting. Yes, they have everything in place that they can do that. Congress. Is the filibuster used in the House as well? Because it sounds to me that's what Kevin McCarthy did the other night. Filibustered. But yeah, there's definitely some changes going to take place. do think that I used to read Mad magazine. So when I was a bit too young to really appreciate what it was all about. And yes, God, they did some hilarious things. Yeah. Okay, the Australian elections. What impact will the Australian elections have on Australia? Okay. Catherine Stubbs asked the question. It's lovely to see some new names here too. Thank you for coming and joining in the conversation, and just for coming in and watching me, you know. The Australian election. What is the outcome going to mean for Australia? The Queen of Cups. Caring and nurturing. She's got the peace sign on her cloak here too. And it feels like she's safely on a sandbar above the water. So it feels like maybe we've been raised a little bit out of danger. The challenge is going to be some deals. Some agreements are going to have to be reviewed. There's going to be a review of some agreements, and that's going to be a challenge. Thank you, Bright April. Thank you, Sophie. Yeah, definitely. The advice is going to be look at some ways in which can redress the balance of some issues that have sort of gotten whacked out of balance in the last couple of years, especially. We are a large country with a diverse range of environments. A friend of mine at uni, when I was at James Cook, he was from Swaziland, and he was looking at the land systems in his home country, and I looked at the size and all that and some of the systems, and I said, wow, I said, you know, the applications here in Australia, in some areas of Australia for this program. He said, really? I said, yeah. I said, what you're looking at there with the land systems in your country, I know geographically it's a small country, and I wasn't poking fun at the size of Swaziland or anything, but just looking at it as a geographer. I said, some of the cattle stations in this country, especially in the northern part, your whole country and all its land systems would fit into the boundaries of one cattle station. And I said, and some of them have a lot of similar land systems here. And he was like, oh, wow, that's really interesting to know. So, and he was doing an amazing job looking to help his country and everything. And it's like, I said, yeah, you know, a lot of what you're looking at can apply just to, you know, areas of Australia. And it was like, oh, wow. So we are a big country with a lot of different factors that have to be addressed. At the base of this people are going to be, it's like they're going to be waking up from a slumber from the next few years. Now, I haven't looked at who's going to win, okay? I'm just looking at the results of the election and what results it's going to have. Not looking at who's going to win, because I do feel my own opinion on who I want to win is too weighted for me to read that. So, yeah. There is going to be a little bit of, you know, we were hoping that this would be addressed a bit more, or that would be addressed a bit more. So there's some areas where there's going to be a little bit of, but that is always the case, a little bit of disappointment. And I think that came out yesterday when we were looking at the election here. But it's definitely going to be a crossroads time for Australia. Bring us to a crossroads, and new energy. There's going to be a build-up of new energy in the country to lead us into the second half of 2022 and the next few years. Okay. What will our impact? Okay, so that's within Australia. And one more, definitely a better emphasis on families as well, which is good to hear. Okay, so that's within Australia. We're looking at people feeling on a bit more secure footing. Some challenges have to be addressed from past agreements, and also some issues are going to need to be readdressed and will be readdressed. People feel like they're waking up from a bit of a zombie-like slumber from the last few years. There'll be some areas of disappointment. There always is. They can't deliver on all they promise. So there'll be some areas where there'll be some disappointment. There'll be also some areas where it's very much like they have to tread carefully, like a tightrope type thing. But new energy in the country and more emphasis on families. So that's what I'm getting there. Changes as well. So if you were to break the page down, it's number to a single number, it's a 2. So there were 3 2s there. And that's plenty of changes. Now, on a wider geopolitical scale, we are the only hemispherical geopolitical power in the Southern Hemisphere. We are the largest geopolitical power in the Southern Hemisphere. So what is it going to mean in terms of our geopolitical power in the region, in this hemisphere? So what were the results of the election? And again, I'm not reading on who's going to win, you know. Oh, dear. Well, that is a shame. All you can do is hope that he is okay. And yeah. Scott, let's just hope that they come through it, you know. Hi, Sharon Sipe. Hi, Deborah Kell. How are you? So, geopolitically, so I've already looked within Australia. So, the results of the election next year, what is it going to mean geopolitically for Australia in the region and the region geopolitically? So, hi, Margelle. How are you? Thanks for joining us. just want to look at something very quickly. See if I can print out. The name's Margot rings a bell here. No. I thought maybe you'd put a question on yesterday. I think it was Linda, but yeah, that's okay. Thank you, Marjo, for joining us. Okay, so geopolitically in the region, what will the results of the Australian election be? Oh, you remember I said the Two of Swords was here, and it's going to be some very dicey, tightrope walking, very carefully stepped. Well, here it is again. You're going to be walking quite a few the tightrope of quite a few sensitive issues. The challenge is details, figuring out the details. The fact is, because of where we're located, our standard of living, our GDP, as I said, we are the only hemispherical. That doesn't mean there aren't other. There's no global geopolitical powers in the Southern Hemisphere. Okay, so it goes global, hemispherical, regional, local. That's how geopolitical rankings work, and we're the only hemispherical one here. And so for that, we do stand out, we do stand alone, and this is very much something that we have been working to master for a long time, and will continue to have to work. It is very much an ongoing learning process. But this person is working alone to master it. So we do stand out in that way, and that can be a challenge, because I hate to say that could make us a bit of a target. I just got that through my head, so don't want to cause panic or distress or anything, but it's just a simple statement of fact. Advice, have everything ready. The advice is to have everything ready. Really do our homework and get everything together in order to manifest what we need to do and what we hope to achieve for our country and for our region. Because we cannot just, Paul Keating said a long time ago, we cannot deny it. We are part of, we are tied to Asia, not necessarily geographically, although we can be called Australasia. Australasia and well, we're split in two really: Australasia, which is the western half of Asia, and Oceania, which is the eastern half of the Pacific and all that. So those two regions, in order to manifest what is required or hoped for in deals and everything, we have to make sure we have all our ducks in a row. And that's the bit of advice that we have there, especially after an election. Why? Because we're going to be finding Australia, the government, whatever, a few hidden roadblocks, a few hidden bumps. Because not everything is as clear as it should be. Not everyone has been as open as they should be. And this is going to become clear. So it's going to be a few roadblocks, and there's really going to be some highlight on some of the mechanisms. And to me, this crustacean here, he's got an articulated body. And that to me also always represents mechanisms. So some hidden mechanisms behind the scenes are going to come to light. We are going to have to be prepared to deal with them and to make sure that they're dealt with appropriately. We're going to have a high impact. Those two are high impact cards. We've got the Magician and we've got the Moon. High impact cards. 6. There's going to be a return to a couple of policies, I think, that have been let go. Whether they're good or bad at the moment, I'm not sure. Maybe a mix of both. Or a look to return to a couple of policies, or a look to return a relationship to a certain level. It could be a strained relationship. We've got quite a few strained relationships, unfortunately. And also revisiting some things like with what's happened with the Solomon Islands recently. We've had to send troops back, even though we only got them back from there properly in 2017. I remember when I was in the State Emergency Service in Queensland, we had to deal with evacuees from the Solomon Islands because of a similar incident. Another one in 2004. This was back in it might have been a cyclone or something, but there was something to do with this, and it was dangerous for them to stay. I don't know whether it was a cyclone or it was. I think it was civil unrest again. So that is certainly something that is not going to go away very quickly. Yeah, it's going to be a little bit of a bumpy ride, but we will make progress in the region. It's 2 6s. Have a look at that in a bit. Yeah, we're going to have to be looking to place in some restrictions in some relationships. Not us painting ourselves into a corner with something, but we are going to be in a situation where we're going to have to consider restrictions, possibly sanctions. It's going to be a different viewpoint here. And so juggling things and manifestation. Now, this is geopolitically. This is not within the country. This is within our geopolitical sphere of influence. What's on the bottom? More balanced and level. So all of these efforts and all of these things coming out are going to lead to a more balanced relationship with our neighbours. So the 2 6s. Where's my little purple book? Where's the purple? The purple book. The purple book. This is this has a little section on what multiple numbers of cards means. So my little purple book. Yeah, well, there's nothing for 2 6s. 3 is achievements. So nothing for 2 2s either. So yeah, that 2 8s. The 2 6s, 2 2s, and 2 8s. So surprises, a few surprises in store. And I think that's going to be us having a few surprises in store for some people. 3 lots of 2. I'm just going to confer with, I'm just going to look at a couple. I'm just, I'm not super huge on the numbers as yet. I have been exploring them more, but I'm curious. The 3 lots of 2 has some significance. Okay, so I'm going to see if I can find the book that one of my reference books. I'll just be a minute. When putting books back, it always happens when you have a bit of a clear up, doesn't it? That's not it. The little blue book. No. Oh, there it is. It's right there. It was right there. It just had a deck on top of it. The book I was looking for. Mouse. Are you around somewhere, Mouse? Hi, Marie Hanson. Now, it's something I'll probably have to look up a bit later. I'll follow up with that a bit later with the geopolitical reading. So, and I'll fill you in on that. So we got 6 of Cups, 6 of Wands, 8 of Swords, 8 of Pentacles, 2 of Pentacles, 2 of Swords. Yeah, okay. So what I'll do is I'm going to follow up with that. I've got those 3 lots of cards there, the geopolitical effects. And I haven't looked at who's going to win the election, okay, of Australia election. What does it mean to have 3 sets of 2? So I'm going to see if I can follow that up. And I'll let you know about that on Thursday. So what else was there? So we got 6 of Cups, 6 of Swords. Got 3 swords here. 8 of Swords. 2 of Pentacles. I'm just writing them down in the 2 of Swords. 8 of Pentacles. Magician and Moon. That's the positions of each. Okay, so I'll follow that up. Okay, Marie Hanson, what the reading I just did was I did the domestically how the Australian election next year is going to affect Australia, and then I did it geopolitically within our region and stuff, and so very interesting. So if you want to see more on that, you can go back a little bit and have a look. But I also had 3 lots of two cards. So I had 2 6s, 2 8s, and 2 2s. Okay. So not 2 Wands, that's 2 of Swords. Yeah. And so I'm interested in if that also has any deeper meaning, but my numbers things is very basic, and so I just want to go and investigate that a little bit later, and I'll come back to you on Thursday and see let you know what I found out, if there's any significance in that. Now, a memo from some high-ranking people at the Washington, D.C. National Guard saying that the Inspector General's report for the Pentagon is filled with lies and omissions, and saying that 2 top officials lied. General Flynn, not Michael. I think it could be. They said Levaya or something, but it could be Charles Flynn. I don't know how many General Flynns there are. Good. There are. So they lied to Congress. So, the little blue book I was looking at there is, I actually picked this and my little purple one up at a garage sale. I picked them both up at the same time. And this is just Tarot by Paula Day. And so I was just looking at the numbers thing. So, yeah, I have lots of references and stuff. You can see there's a few books up there. Most of my books are from kids, but I also have articles. I have things from sites. And when I was putting together my lessons, I did a lot of research. I knew where I wanted to go, and I know what direction I wanted to do it, and where I wanted to take people and stuff. But that didn't mean I could just go and say, oh, such and such and such and such, without, making sure I'd gotten it all right. So it took a lot of research on my part too to put together my lessons. So I do send out the slides to people after they've had a lesson, and the slides all have a list of references on them. And and these two are on the references as well. So this one is Tarot by Paula Day. And it's a UK book by Element Books. This is from 1997. And this one is Tarot, an easy to follow illustrated guide to the mysteries of tarot by Jonathan D., with cards illustrated by Shirley Barker. And that's from Paragon Press. And that was published in 2000, this edition. But it was first published in 1996. So, yeah. So they're quite old, but very basic and very good. But also a lot of other things, some very, very modern references as well. Oh, speaking of Titanic, you remember I said I went to the Titanic exhibition? This wasn't my ticket. I don't know what happened with my ticket. But my friend who went with me, we went for my 50th birthday on New Year's Eve, and she said, "I'll take my ticket," because I don't know what happened with mine. So this was the ticket that my friend was given, and she passed it on to me. And each ticket that you got had the details of a passenger, whether they lived or survived. This ticket was for a passenger named Charlotte Wardle Cardeza from Germantown in Pennsylvania. She was independently and wealthy, and she was accompanied by her son, Thomas Cardeza. She was in first class in cabin number, stateroom number B515355. So, of course, first class. Pining for the fjords. Have you been watching Death in Paradise? Geek Hillbilly. Passenger fact: Mrs. Cardeza and her 36-year-old son, together with their 2 servants, occupied the most ultra-deluxe suite on Titanic. The Philadelphia heiress was returning from an African safari with 14 trunks, 4 suitcases, and 3 crates of baggage worth a total of 36,000 pounds, 36,500 pounds. That was back then. Imagine how much that lot would be worth now, 109 years later. yeah. So I don't know what happened to my ticket. But no, she said, "I'll take mine." And I got from the exhibition, I got a second class cup and saucer. It was wow, it was an amazing thing. It's like, yeah, I do light up, don't I, when I talk about Titanic. So yeah, and they had it at the Wednesday, 10th of April, 9. Oh no, that was the boarding of the ship. This was, they had it over Christmas, New Year. It was my 50th birthday, so 2016. It was here in Perth, and we went to see it. They had some things from the movies, which I appreciated, like a couple of dresses that Kate, a wonderful actress. I had nothing against the actors or actresses in the movie. I just got really, what's her name? The actress who played Rose, a couple of her dresses and all that. So they had some of the costumes from the movies and some of the props that they were made sure were good, were right. Yeah, and it was amazing. It was amazing, and some of the real stuff that they brought up. Kate Winslet, that's her name. Yes, I had no problem with the actors or the acting or anything. I just really pissed me off, and I never really watched the whole thing. Yes, it was a real surprise coming out of nowhere. So yeah, I even have a whole book on that was written by Bob Ballard, you know, the man who found it and stuff on it somewhere around. Movies about it, and I've never, even like classic things like A Night to Remember and stuff like that, and I have watched some of them, but yeah, I don't generally tend to steer away from them and stuff, but yeah. Yeah, well, considering she was on safari, she had probably had a few animal heads in there too, and I can't say I'm not sorry that they didn't survive to be displayed in her drawing room or whatever. That she survived. It's just wrong that anyone had to die on that. So I'm glad she survived, but I'm not sorry that whatever trophies, hunting trophies she might have had, didn't. But yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, ivory also. Ooh. Okay. Yeah, Madge, if you're watching, I've done the questions associated with Clive Palmer at the moment, and I'm going to have a look at Miles Guo or Guo Wenyi on Thursday. We'll follow up with him. Pig me through them. No, I think mine was a guy. From memory, the person on my ticket was a man. He didn't survive. He was in third class, I think, or second class or something. But yeah. Hi, Flowing. Now, this memo from the National Guards. Is it all valid? Is everything they're saying true? Because they were not happy. They said they were sitting there waiting and waiting to be caught and could not understand why they weren't being called in. Thank you, Desrat. Nice to meet you too. Thank you for joining us. Yes, Devin Nunes is leaving. I did a reading on him, Marie Henson, earlier. Yeah. So let's see. What's going on with this? Oh, Congress is very Queen of Pentacles. But she's got the wand there to scepter. Very, very interested. Will this spark an investigation? Oh, Tower moment. It is going to be a Tower moment. Definitely going to be sparking some interest. King of Wands. Trump would not call people and he would not authorize things. Definitely. Knight of Pentacles. Things being slowed down. Eight of Pentacles. Opportunity. Page of Wands. There's going to be more talk. There's going to be more talk about this. And this is a big thing. It is going to have an impact. Eight of Cups. Abandonment. Knight of Wands. But they're going to be treating it carefully. But yes, it is going to spark investigations, momentum. Yeah. And they are going to look at it. And this memo is going to go to the 1-6 committee also, or I think it has gone to them. Yeah. Yeah, so expect to hear more about this memo. It could be a real Tower moment. I think Charles Flynn, maybe. And this what's his name? Piat or Piot. Now, the border crisis with this Remain in Mexico policy that Biden's administration has said they will get rid of it. They will sort it out. But they've had a court order to reinstate it. What is going to happen there? Oh, you're back, Judy Malley. Okay. Two of Pentacles. Hey, sweetie.
Coffee?
Well, that would be nice, but beauty before me.
Do what?
Can you, Whitby's water looks like it needs changing and topping up.
Oh,
so
right, yeah.
Not very full.
Oh,
so can you take care of that?
Yeah.
Take care of our Bubba first. Then if you, I'd appreciate it if you made me a cup of coffee. Yeah. Hi, Michelle Peterson. Two of Pentacles. Juggling. It's not as simple for them to undo as they thought it would be. Seven of Swords. It really burns having to reinstate a Trump era thing, especially something that's so horrible. Nine of Cups. Will they do something about it? They're not going to let it stand. Now, how Trump said he'd set things in motion so that it would be hard for them to undo it, like the withdrawal from Afghanistan and stuff like that. He's done something similar to this here. But there will be a way around it. Nine of Cups. I said, will they do something? Yes, they will, but they'll be appealing to the courts. But the big thing is that they extended it, added an extension to it, but I don't know what that is about. So it's like, we'd have to find out more about what those extensions were, but there's definitely back to courts with it. The devil. It is a horrendous policy.
Oh.
And yes, the immigration lawyer was devastated, and you know, they said they'd do this. But things have been set up sometimes that, yeah, the Trump stamp is all over this. The full having to go back to the start. They have to go back to the start with it and find a way to get rid of it, because the way they tried was just checked out of court. Two of Cups. Commitments. Seven of Wands. Four of Cups.
Hey, baby.
Honestly, it's going to be
Going down, that's good.
Whitby, come to mummy. It's going to be not as easy as they thought. It's going to be quite a bit of a struggle, and they're going to have to go right back to the start. And even then, what they come up with might not necessarily be as much as they would want. Whitby, come to mama. You want to come say hello? Come here, come to mummy. Oh, how's my boy? How's my boy? Yes. Going to say hello to everyone? Say hello, Whitby. Hello. No. There we go.
He's not
Go
running
to daddy.
around like a pup. He's good. He thinks he's a pup.
He thinks he's a pup.
He's an old dog. He hasn't quite worked that out.
Maybe you've just been absorbing all these extra years for him. Maybe you've been absorbing all these extra years for him and aging for him. Maybe he's your portrait of Dorian Gray. Maybe he's Dorian Gray and you're the portrait of him.
Oh, that's all going over my head. He's seen.
Yeah, Dorian Gray never aged.
Oh, yeah,
But his
right.
portrait.
I know.
Age.
I know what it is.
Maybe he's Dorian Gray and you're his portrait.
No, he's seen nothing but love, and subsequently he's fearless and still thinks he's a pup. Sit. Oh, you're so
Be a
clever,
gentleman.
aren't you?
There
Off
you go.
I'll give him some food.
He used to snap
Although he
that
probably
last.
won't eat with the heat.
Yeah, no, don't feed him at the moment.
No, I'll wait till the evening. Cool.
He used to, that last little bit, he used to snap at the last little bit, and I tell him to be a gentleman, and he doesn't do that then.
No, he doesn't get the treat if he doesn't sit properly.
No. With me, he used to, just before getting it, he used to do a little snap.
Yeah, that was not on for me.
Yeah, and
he has to sit properly.
Yeah, I tell him.
No snapping the food out of your hand.
Yeah, well, that's where the be a gentleman came in, and
I don't think he understands that.
He does understand that. He understands your commands, and he understands mine.
He understands sit and food is coming. He doesn't even recognise the word treat.
Oh, don't you think?
Don't
think he doesn't recognise the word treat.
No,
He does. He does.
He knows sit and food is coming.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry. Okay,
Yes.
Yeah, okay, hang on.
If he looks, he'll be a terrier cross then. If he looks like, unless he's a puppy, unless he's a German Shepherd pup. But if he's an older dog, he'll be a terrier cross or something.
Yeah. Okay.
Whitby is an Australian Terrier Scotty cross, apparently. So.
Beautiful.
Mm.
Go. Come on. I'll close this.
Yeah. He's smart. Yes, he is smart, isn't he?
No.
Boo hiss! Boo hiss!
This is the dog that we're sitting in the lounge room and we hear this thump, thump, and he's attacking himself in the glass reflection.
Oh, he was still only a bubba. He was only not even a year old when he was doing that.
Yeah, okay. Both our pets aren't smart. cameo. She put her tail in the fire and then just watched as it burned. What the hell? I think
Everyone together. Boo! Hiss!
I think it would be smarter than cameo.
They're both the same.
Yeah.
They are. Oh, hello, ES. Yes, we are cute. Yeah, we get that a lot.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, look, it's going to take a while to sort out this remain in Mexico policy. Boo hiss. Melinda's going boo hiss.
Well, they all get like
and it's going to take a while. I do think eventually they'll be able to figure out a way around it, but something in which the way Trump brought it in, yeah, it's not as easy to chuck out as they thought it was going to be. That Christensen was on Alex Jones's show, InfoWar. Christensen, who's Christensen? I know the name, but I can't quite place him. If somebody could. Is he Australian? Yeah, Catherine Stubbs says you got a boo hiss from her. They still love you, but you're still getting a boo and a hiss.
All right, I can live with that.
Christensen, is that an Australian dude? He is, isn't he? Shelby Lisa's female Whippet Labrador cross got out last week. She was wearing a sweater that said genius on it. She came back an hour later with no sweater on and a tennis ball in her mouth. George Christensen, the National. Yes, I was wondering, okay, why was he on InfoWars? National parties basically represent all the rural areas, the farmers and the graziers and all that sort of stuff. He's resigning soon from Parliament. Okay. Why was he on? Of course, we still love him. He's your hubby. Maybe a decaf, Bubby.
Sure,
Yeah,
baby.
thank you, my darling. Eight of Swords. Oh, he's really painted himself into a corner. He has not done himself any favours by going on Alex Jones. Make no mistake, there's a lot of right-wing people in this country.
Oh, yeah.
And they follow a lot of pretty right-wing people. And there are some followers of Alex Jones. I'm not going to say there aren't, but there's not as many as he thinks there are. And it's done him damage. And Alex Jones, when he came out with that Sandy Hook crap, he lost a lot of followers because he was talking about children and the things he was coming out with. And Australians have a surprising amount of patience with a surprising number of people, but you know, even our most right-wing people. But there are some things we all come together against, and it is things like Sandy Hook. It's things like Port Arthur. It's things like what happened.
What happened? That he got his wrist slapped for a week still.
You know, the Sandy Hook back in 2013. It was the kindergarten school, pre-elementary school in the US, in a place called Sandy Hook. I'm sorry, I can't remember that. Yeah. A gunman went in and he killed something like 26 people or something, and 18 of them were children. He said it was all a hoax, all set up, and there were actors, the people.
What did they do? Did they take him offline for a while?
Oh, he got thrown off quite a few platforms,
When
including
was this?
YouTube. Oh, a couple of years ago.
No, recently he had got his wrist slapped.
Oh yeah, in court. He had to pay. He's had to
And that
pay
was-
damages to
that
the
was in-
families of the Sandy Hook
Oh,
victims.
good.
Mm.
Yeah, like so,
And
really off.
you know,
Like he's a shock jock.
he is. And
he just went too far.
and you know, Port Arthur, the guy who shot up those mosques and everything in New Zealand last year, who was an Australian, the lynch siege in Martin Place a few years back, in where several people got killed, and all disparate, all very different things and stuff. And no, you don't back those people in any way, shape, or form. And him saying what he did about Sandy Hook really turned a lot of Australians from it. Unfortunately, there's still plenty who believe. But no, George Christensen has not done himself any favours. He's painted himself into a corner. He's resigning from Parliament soon, hey? Page of Cups. He's in for some surprising news. He's going to regret it. Knight of Wands. He's going to try and charm his way out of it with the Knight of Wands. Off on a new adventure. Best advice is to take himself off somewhere. But a new adventure somewhere else, buddy. Four of Swords. Yeah, he is retiring. I think he's maybe, I think he may be thinking about starting up something similar of his own here. Queen of Wands. Two of Swords. Oh, definitely a bit of a tightropey thing. Try and manifest and shop. I think he may be looking towards starting up his own shop job type thing. He's going to land himself in legal trouble. Yeah. He's looking at starting up something of his own. So attracting people who watched Alex Jones, getting the notice of those people so they might come and watch his own thing. Yeah. Oh, low life. Low life. He's going to land himself in some real trouble. He wants to like launch it with a bang, and he's, yeah. I mean, a lot of us have YouTube channels. I have a YouTube channel and all that, and we're fully aware if we appear on other people's channel with certain people that it can, you know, heighten our exposure or something like that. But that's not why most of us are doing this. Oh, there's someone at the door.
Is it?
Yeah. Didn't you hear a knock?
Oh. What we got?
But yeah, it's. What's that, baby? But you know, it's about exploration, not exploitation. Exploitation and stuff.
Just the blocks, dogs having a bark off.
Oh, bark off, eh?
Bark off.
You tell them, Whippy. You tell them. You tell them where to get off. Hello, Bubba girl. How's my sweetheart? Hey, how's my sweetheart? Where'd the book go? Where'd the book go? Yeah. Hey, let's have a look. I'm going to try something. I got one of these. Remember all those little jewelry boxes that you would get when you were a kid with the little dancing ballerinas in it? I picked one up. Pure childhood. We went to a garage sale. Oh, I think this was over a year ago now, and it was one. There was a couple for sale, and I grabbed one. And so this is it. It's got some fairies and a unicorn on top, and it's just pure little girl thing, you know. So what I'm going to do is just wind it a little bit. Bubba girl. Come here, Bubba. She's looking at it. She's like, what's that?
What's the collection in the glass cabinet then? What are those little boxes?
They're trinket boxes, Bob. Including a lovely white metal one we got from Washington, D.C. That's one thing we found in America. You know, you get souvenirs and all that, and the quality of things you can buy in America are just amazing.
Yeah.
Especially Washington and stuff. Wow, we've got some gorgeous stuff in Washington.
Gotta get back there. Okay.
Hi, the face painter. You had a question that we did ask with Linda about Charles and Harry and all that. So we looked at that. So if you haven't looked at my thing with Linda, go and have a look. Come here, Bubba.
Ugh.
She's watching it. That's cleaning a paw. What, you're getting ready to swipe at her? Anyway, that is our interval. Oh. Embrace chaos. All those new people who are joining me, just embrace chaos, because you never know what's going to happen on my channel. Yeah, if you only saw me for the first time with Linda, I was quite nervous, and it sort of showed. But yeah, but it was lovely. She is the loveliest person, and again, thank you, Linda, for joining me. Yeah. It's so sweet. It's so sweet. It just took me right back to being a kid. And she doesn't have the net skirt. They don't have the net skirts anymore. Some of them still do. Carter Mandy's saying I sent her cat searching the house for the source of the music. Carter Mandy Mesquite from Texas. I think you're from Texas, aren't you, Alan? Her cat went off searching for the music.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What sort of cat? Or what? No.
James wants to know what sort of cat you have, sweetheart.
Oh.
And we did look at Havana syndrome. The far right influence after the truth comes out. We looked at that, and I might have a look at that again on Thursday. We looked at will the Great Barrier Reef affect climate change. Penny Wong's political future. Okay, she's a really smart and classy lady, Penny Wong. So let's have a look. She's a Labor, and let's have a look at her political future. She could end up leading the party. Oh, Penny. Penny Wong end up leading the Labor Party. Five of Swords. No, unfortunately. Okay. So she's facing some defeat there. Okay. But a bit of chaos happening around her too. But let's have a look. Yeah, and a bit of heartbreak on the bottom. Page of Swords. Yeah, quite a bit of disappointment there. So she's not going to end up leading the party. But let's have a look about what her political future is. It's very popular, isn't it, with the boxes? So Penny Wong's political future. So she's not going to end up leading the Labor Party. But let's have a look. Oh, she's into a bit of a rough time because she's got the devil. What's on her shoulders then? Justice, a bit of imbalance. Things, having a bit of a tough time getting things back into balance. And the High Priestess. So she's got some high impact things heading her way, and she's got some heavy stuff on her shoulders. She really is feeling a bit of a burden. So we've got the devil at the top here, and I'm working on this spread. Yeah, but she's got a couple of heavy things riding on her shoulders. Justice, the High Priestess, wisdom, longevity, renewal. What's in her right hand? Judgment. She's got some pretty hangman suspension. She may even be taking a break for a little while, but she's got some big, high impact things happening. These are all major arcana cards. So in her right hand, she's got judgment. On her left, she's got suspension, the hangman. So she might be having a few issues in the near future. And you know, when I said, will she lead the Labor Party, it got Five of Swords, no. And on the bottom, there was the Knight of Swords for chaos. And under that, there was Three of Swords for disappointment. It was Three of Swords. So, yeah, she's got, will she come through it okay? Let's ask that question. King of Cups. Yes, that's a yes. She will come through it okay, but it's going to be a bit of a turbulent time for her. And Six of Pentacles. She knows her own worth. So, and Five of Wands. So she still has a few things to battle, but she will come through it okay. But I do think there's something she has to let go of because it's a lost cause. So until she lets go of that, redressing the balance is, yeah. Nine of Wands. Yeah, she is in for a bit of a tough time. I really like Penny Wong. Whether it's personal or professional, is it? She's got the Seven of Wands, standing in defense of herself. Is this personal or professional? Four of Swords. She may have to take a step back. Have a leave of absence or something. Nine of Swords. Not very good. Yeah, she's in for a real tough few months. Let's hope for the best for her. And King of Pentacles. There could even be some accusations of corruption here with her, but so she's with the devil to pay and the King of Pentacles. will she be okay? Queen of Swords, she's definitely going to have to feel like she's going to have to step up and answer some questions. So there's definitely something that's going to come back, and yes, she's in for a bit of a hard time. Gladys Berejiklian has apparently been cleared of the financial scandal or whatever it was that caused her to resign. But yeah, it's going to be a bit of a tough time for Penny, which is a shame. But just because you like someone and you admire where they've gotten and all that doesn't mean that they haven't made mistakes along the way. And I do feel like there may be some mistakes that she has made along the way that will be coming back to unfortunately bite her. So I think she could be in for a bit of a tough time. Will Dan Andrews be re-elected as the state premier of Victoria? Oh, he's had a lot of problems having to be the premier at this time and have your capital city be the city that's had the longest, more days in lockdown than any other city in the world Melbourne has had, and having to carry that through to the next election. Dan Andrews, will he get re-elected? The Emperor, that's looking good. King of Cups, again, that's looking good. Queen of Cups, yes. There's going to be a bit of the Sun, despite all the protests, a beacon, and Seven of Cups, and some confusion. Might be a bit of confusion at the time, but it's looking pretty good for him, which I have to admit I'm surprised. But he has stood up to the government. There's more support for him than people realise. The Empress, the people of Victoria, will have their say about this. The state has changed and there have been changes. They ended up with the death card, but change and a new thing. But so is that yes or no? Will he be Victoria? Two of Wands. Yeah, it's very crossroady. That last card, two cards of Two of Wands and death. There's a bit of a labyrinthian thing. He's got a lot of ideas to get Victoria back on track and stuff. So yes, but then there's a change. He might get in, and he might for some reason have to leave, resign, and the deputy premier will then take over. But that could be a little bit in. But I do feel like it's looking good for him to get back in. Oh. Okay. I'll have a look at Australia 2022 in a few days. M? Yeah. So, anybody else got? I'm out of questions here, I think. So, anybody want me to look at something else? We've got about another 10 odd minutes or so. So, how about we look at something a little bit different? I am going to do a Myths and Legends broadcast. I'm thinking of maybe doing it Monday night or something. Tuesday morning, Monday night. So what can we look at? That's something a little bit this coming Sunday is the 12th of the 12th, 21. And somebody posted something about resonance being associated with that day. So I'm going to have a look at that on Sunday. I will be looking at the full moon on the 18th, closer to the 18th. And then there's the winter solstice. I think I'll look at our summer solstice too. So the winter solstice is the 21st of the 12th. So guys, excuse me for just a wee sec while I have a look when the summer solstice is. Summer solstice. Australia. Again, it's the 21st. So it's the winter solstice in the US or in the Northern Hemisphere, and the summer solstice here. So I'm going to have a look at what both those mean for the Northern Hemisphere and for the Southern Hemisphere. The 21st is a Tuesday, so that is 2 weeks away. So that's 2 weeks away, okay? So looking forward to that Saturday, and on the Thursday the 16th I'll look at the full moon for the 18th. So there's another missing woman in Florida, Kathleen Moore. Any idea? I don't generally read on missing people. Last time I did, I read on that Gabby girl, the one who turned up dead, and I felt, you know, so I tend to leave missing people alone. One question I do want to know is her trial's on at the moment, so I'm not going to read about her trial, but will Ghislaine Maxwell end up in the witness protection program? Because it looks like there's quite a few ancient. 8 of Cups, abandonment for Queen of Swords, the trial, 5 of Swords, defeat. The Tower, it's got a big Tower moment for her. She's not going to win her trial. But anyway, that's 6 of Pentacles, 8 of Pentacles, details. There might be something that happens that she could end up in witness protection. That doesn't necessarily mean she's not going to end up in jail for quite a while. But she'll probably be in jail and then afterwards placed in witness protection. She's going to be in very high security, I think. Oh, her boyfriend was just arrested and charged with her death a few hours ago. Goofy or silly? Marjo, do you have a question? I know. Remember a few months back, I think it was Edna May. Did you send me a whole list of different cryptids and stuff in different states? I had a look at hang on. So hang on a minute. I'll bring up. I had to update some programs, so a lot of things fell. So where's the Kentucky one? Where is ya? Hidden treasures. Well, someone got a hidden treasure they want me to read on. And you want me to do another ghost special with the full moon. Where's the cryptids thing? I know I have it. Oh, where is it? Come on. Pictures. Well, I know where it is. I know. Where's the Kentucky cryptids? Come on, where are they? Oh, come on. This is driving me nuts. Oh, no, that's all right, Laura. I keep going. I'll keep going. I'm trying to find the thing with the Kentucky cryptids that I've found. And I know I saved the image because I thought we'd have a bit of fun looking at some different Scooby, creepy, weepy stuff. Yeah. How are you, Laura? Oh, come on. Where did I put them? Come on. Where's the Kentucky cryptids? I have a thing for it. Oh. It's like a map of Kentucky, and it's got all the different cryptid stories and stuff. No. Yes, so it's new to me. This is pretty much a bit of what it can be like with my channel sometimes. You can sort of everything's going through. Oh, I'll just have to look for something. Hang on for a minute. Just I know I saw it. Hang on. Yeah. Okay, who can tell me a Kentucky cryptid or a cryptid from their state? Quickly, come on. Hi, Kim King, how are you? Yeah, I'll do a ghost special. Come on. Someone give me a cryptid to look at. I want a cryptid. I want a cryptid. It really annoys me when I can't find something I know is there. I was starting to sound like hubby. Oh, I know it's there, and I'm really annoyed that I can't find it. The Jersey Devil. Okay, look at the Jersey Devil. Now, what's he supposed to do? The Jersey Devil. What is the Jersey Devil? Guides of the highest. What can you tell me about the Jersey Devil? Is it a dog-like thing? Is the Jersey Devil real? Well, there's certainly something that people think is the Jersey, that they take it for the Jersey Devil. There's definitely something that scares them, or was something that scared them. This deck indicates like this person is holding the golden fleece over his head, like it's sort of like a legend, very legendary. Thanks, Em. The Lovers. Global reassessment. It's something that people have been looking at and reassessing over time. I do feel with the Emperor that there was some real foundation, that it was actually a creature that was pretty terrifying in the area, and that it had some foundation in truth. Page of Cups. I think it's sort of hasn't been there for a long time. Page of Cups. But it's sort of something that the legend really does live on. Eight of Cups, walking away. Is it in a particular area? Or is it all over the state of Jersey? Is it confined to a particular area? Thank you, M. I'll just highlight that. If you want a personal reading from me. Like many of these things, it's fruitful. A lot of people really know that. Yeah, look, it's awake to the fact that if there, whatever there was that may have inspired the legend isn't there anymore. But as with a lot of these things, it's had a life of its own. It's had a life of its own, and legends have been built on it and stuff like that. And a lot of people are aware, not necessarily around anymore, but it's I think people are tending to attach it. I'm sorry, Shelby, I will not touch the Mothman because he scared the shit out of me. Honestly, just flat out. The Mothman scares the hell out of me. I've seen specials on it. I've seen the movie. Whoa, just oh. Yeah, I'm bringing out my crystal for extra help. That just scares the hell out of me. I don't get actions like that very often, but yeah, asking for extra protection. And, yeah, he scares the hell out of me. Yeah. But I do think that maybe the Jersey Devil, if people have some bad luck in certain areas, they attribute it to him or something like that. It's like it's felt like his bad judgments against them, things not working out the way they want, or a turn for a bad luck. Don't stress about it. Might like some Palo Santo. It's just, yeah, it's scared that even looking at a picture of it, it's just, how it's supposed to look. Yeah. That is a real, the Mothman is, as far as I'm concerned, yeah, real 100%. Yeah. You don't have to apologize. There are some things that just, whoa. I feel like a lot of people might blame the Jersey Devil for some bad luck. There's half wolfman types that terrorize family, terrorize upstate New York some years back. Have a look at him too. Yeah, I feel like there was at some stage some sort of, it may have been a large wolf or a rabid dog or a large dog wolf cross or something like that. Maybe even a bit rabid with rabies or something. And it was a pretty scary thing, and it was roaming there for quite a while. Very large, and was there for quite a few years, long enough to get, and people have determined, that it's a cause of bad luck if they have that. It's not their own fault. It's not their own mistakes. It's the Jersey Devil's fault. Yeah, turns in fortune. They attribute it to that. But yeah, I do think it was based in a real animal, very large, possibly a wolf and a cross with another large dog or something. Quite feral, quite wild, and possibly maybe even kept by some person and mistreated as well. Got out, and the wolfman types that terrorized family in New York upset. Some people are just horrible. Wolfman types terrorizing family. Was it one family? Because I feel like it was targeted. Wolfman types that terrorizes the family in New York. Some people working together upset the balance. Page of Cups, emotional, being hidden. Yeah, it was targeted. It was definitely targeted. It was a group of people. They were targeting this family for some reason, wanting them out from where they were. Did that family end up moving? Stumbled upon again. It wasn't wolf. I think it was people. Definitely, they wanted those people out. Did they end up moving? Yeah, there was some activity happening there, and it was people activity. They were getting too curious. They were going out and looking at things. So yeah, we'll just terrify these people and try to frighten them away. In fact, I do feel that some of the people responsible for have actually since ended up in jail on different things. Are they okay now? No new reports of being terrorized or something? Things that was abandoned after a while. Yeah, it was definitely personal, targeting. Yeah, wanting to manifesting things. And really, I do think there's something that was going on there that they were in the way of. It was a real effort to try and get rid of this family, because them moving there was a huge inconvenience for some people. I do feel like actually at least one of the people has ended up in court and in jail. Page of Swords. The whole thing might come out eventually, but are they still getting harassed? Are they still getting terrorized? Because I feel like everything's a lot better now, and the family's been able to settle. And some of it's been. Nobody wants to be the target of this sort of crap. And I think maybe they found out what happened. Judgment. But I do feel like at least one of the people involved ended up getting themselves in jail. And yeah, lots of secrets and stuff in the area, hidden things in the area that could still be found. King of Wands, Page of Pentacles, disappointment, but upwardly mobile, Knight of Pentacles, getting stuck where they are, the Eight of Pentacles, forced movement away. But I do feel like, yeah, it was very much Eight of Pentacles working. I do feel like it was very much a hoax to sort of drive that family away. It was just something, yeah. Don't be surprised if there's something that's been, yeah. Yeah, no, I think it was deliberate, and I think it was people. And maybe when they couldn't get rid of them or whatever, they did maybe move their operations a bit. They were definitely doing something nasty there. May even have been something as simple as a meth lab, and I were trying to drive that away, because I do think whatever was happening there, it's been moved away, but there might still be evidence of things like that. If people go and look at it. But it's not a nice area too. I think maybe the area's got a bit of a reputation, so they took advantage of it. I think everything's okay with that family now. Anyway, my darlings, thank you so much for joining me. It's lovely to see some new names and all that. And I will be back on Thursday to do some more. And stay safe, stay strong, stay loving, stay healthy. We'll see you again in a couple of days. And yeah, I am going to do a Myths and Legends broadcast, and I'm going to do another spooky special. And yeah, I want to do a couple more videos, so I've got to get around to doing them as well. Yeah. But other things sometimes take priority, and it's like, oh. So love you all. Good night and take care. Okay. And I'll talk to you in a couple of days.